Aerie Gallery is greater than the sum of its parts. It began as a dream. In this life of expression as an artist that I live, there's always been this dream of making sure that I'm responsible to say the things that I have to say in my life. And one day, I was standing in this temporary gallery that I had above the Schooner restaurant in Tofino, and I was looking out the window, and I could see Mears Island in the background and the waterfront and this empty lot right across the street from me. And there was an old brick chimney that still stood on the lot. There was a patch of blackberries and a kind of a rock hillside, and there was a man standing beside me that I played basketball with at the time, and I said to him, "You see that lot across the street there? You know who owns that lot?" And Mike said, "Yeah, my mom and dad." And I did a double take, because my next question was going to be, do you know if they'd want to sell it? So the next day, Mike came to me and said, "Yeah, my mom and dad will sell you the lot." And so this dream that I'd had of a gallery that looks like a longhouse, like a big house, that's inspired by the architecture of the people of the Northwest Coast, that has no windows, that you could just walk in the door and the lighting would look like each picture that was hung on the walls was a window that you were looking through. Well, it all began to take shape. And my brother Art Vickers at the time was in contracting. He was a carpenter and he owned a Vickers Construction. My brother Matthew Vickers was an engineer. He just finished his schooling at the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. And so between myself, the artist, my brother, the carpenter, and my brother, the engineer, we designed Aerie Gallery and built it to beyond the specs of what construction asks for. And a dear friend of mine, Henry Nola, who's gone now to the other side, he adds every single plank of cedar that make up the walls in the gallery. Henry and I carved the 4 house front totems that are in the gallery. Henry carved the entire eagle on the front, the facade of Aerie Gallery by himself. And I have a friend, he's still alive, Phil Barker, and he worked for Sony Corporation at the time, and he installed a dozen speakers in the gallery and a CD system so that wherever you walked in the gallery you could hear stereo. And I was so proud of it. I remember one day before the gallery opened, I brought my mother in here and we sat over in a corner in the sunken part of the gallery that looks like the pit of a longhouse in the old days. And I put on the Hallelujah chorus of Handel's Messiah, and I cranked it. And I hit play and ran out into the gallery and sat down beside my mom. Before the Hallelujah chorus was finished, we were doing what I'm doing now. Tears were running down our faces. And that feeling has always been in this place. And millions of people have been through the gallery, and you can hear them come in the front door. Loud voices, all excited, on vacation, coming to see some artist, and what is this building about? And all of a sudden you hear a hush in the conversation. And we've actually had people walk up to us and ask if there is an admission fee that they should pay to come through the place. So powerful was the feeling in here. And it's always been that way, and I say that it's greater than the sum of its parts, that this gallery was meant to be where it is today. And it's a pleasure for me to be part of it and to be connected to it so intimately. And that's Aerie Gallery.